welcome to today's tale in Ancient Irish Tales. And this is in the Ulster Cycle called the Cattle Raid of Ragamna. This is before the Cattle Raid of Cooley, and that will come later on. But this one is the first cattle raid in the Ulster Cycle. Okay, today's tale is called the Cattle Raid of Ragamna. And this is, in essence, where it's either the first one or one of the first encounters that Cu Chulainn has with the Mhorragu. The Cattle Raid of Ragamna is one of a number of early Irish romances called Riminsna, or foretales, designed to explain the central epic. It also belongs to a group of sagas called Cattle Raids, of which the most important is the Cattle Raid of Cooley. In this present instance, the title has been appropriateness, as only, one cow was stolen instead of a herd, and there is no person called Ragamna. Besides the Cattle Raid of Ragamna, there are also several ancient Irish episodic narratives dealing with, one or both of the two famous bulls that figure in the Cattle Raid of Cooley: the Dón of Cooley and the White Horn of Cooley. According to one account, the two animals were originally fey swineherds who were at enmity with each other, and who assumed a series of transformations until they finally appeared as two bulls. And there's also a story called Adventures of Mhorragu, which we will get to in the Ulster Cycle later on. When Cu Chulainn lay asleep in Doneworth, he heard a cry sounding out of the north, a cry terrible and fearful to his ears. Out of the deep slumber, he was aroused by it so suddenly that he fell out of his bed and ground like a sack in the east wing of the house. He rushed forth with weapons until he gained the open air. His wife, following him with his armor and his garments, had perceived Log in his harnessed chariot coming towards him from Fairlarth in the north. "What brings thee here?" said Cu Chulainn. "A cry that I heard sounding across the plain," said Log. "From what direction?" said Cu Chulainn. "From the northwest," said Log, "across the great highway leading to Calculin." "Let's follow the sound," said Cu Chulainn. They went forward as far as Aldefir, ford of the two chariot poles. When they arrived, they heard a rattle of a chariot and the loamy distance of Codros. They saw before them a chariot harnessed with a chestnut horse. The horse had but one leg, and the pole of the chariot passed through its body, so that the pagan front met the halter passing across its forehead. With the chariot sat a woman. The woman is the Mhorragu, usually identified as the ancient goddess of battle, which, if you're reading these and learning these, you should have a grasp on who the Mhorragu is. Her eyebrows red and crimson mantle around her. Her mantle fell upon her between the wheels of the chariot, so that swept along the ground. Her hair was in 9 braids.
Motion detected.
A big man went along beside the chariot. He also wore a coat of crimson, and on his back he carried a forked staff of hazelwood, while he drove a cow before him. "The cow is not pleased to be driven on by thee," said Cu Chulainn. "She does not belong to thee," said the woman. The cow is not owned by any of thy friends or associates. The cows of Ulster belong to me, said Cu Chulainn. Thou wouldst give decision about the cow, said woman. You are taking too much upon yourself, O Cu Chulainn. Why is it the woman who escorts me, said Cu Chulainn. Why is it not the man? Is not the man to whom thou dost address thyself, said the woman. Oh yes, said Cu Chulainn, but it is thou who dost answer for him. He is Ograso Lochstio. Well, to be sure, the length of the name is astonishing, said Cu Chulainn. Talk to me then thyself, for the man does not answer. What is thy own name? The woman to whom you speak, said the man, is called Fober Bergboller, Homer for Schillers Garas Suku Ol. Thou art trying to make a fool of me, said Cu Chulainn. And he made a leap into the chariot, and he put his 2 feet on her 2 shoulders, and his spear on the parting of her hair. Do not play thy sharp weapons on me, she said. Then tell me thy true name, said Cu Chulainn. Go further off from me then, she said. I am a female satirist, and he is Dara McFishel of Cooley. I carry off this cow as reward.
Motion detected at the lookout into back car.
For a poem. Well, let's hear thy poem, said Cu Chulainn. Only move further off, said the woman. Thy shaking of thy weapons over my head will not influence me. Then he moved off until he was between the 2 wheels of the chariot. Then she sang to him. Unfortunately, the song she sang has unfortunately not been translated, and I can't seem to find the original song in Ayerskerach, or I would sing it for you. Cu Chulainn prepared to spring again at the chariot, but then the horsewoman and chariot man and cow all disappeared. Then he perceived that she had been transformed into a black bird on the branch close by him. A dangerous enchantment woman are you, said Cu Chulainn. Henceforth this Girach cow place shall bear the name the enchanted place, Durok, said the woman. And Galach Doro was it called. If I had only known that it was thou, said Cu Chulainn, we should never have parted this. Whatever thou hast done, she said, will bring thee ill luck. Thou canst not harm me, he said. Certainly I can, said the woman. I am guarding thy deathbed, and I shall be guarding it henceforth. I bought this cow out of the fairy mound of Kraken so that she might be bred by the bull of Dara McFina, namely the Don of Cooley. So long as her calf shall be a yearling, so long as thy life be. And it is this that shall cause the Cattle Raid of Cooley. My name shall be all the more renowned in consequence of this cattle raid, said the hero. I shall strike down their warriors. I shall fight their battle. I shall survive the cattle raid. How wilt thou manage that? Said Mhorragu. For when thou art engaged in combat with a man as strong and as vicious and dexterous, and as terrible and untiring and as noble, as brave, as great as thyself, I will become an eel, and I will throw a noose around thy feet in the fjord, so that the heavy odds will be against thee. I swear by the God by whom the Ulstermen swear, said Cu Chulainn, that I will bruise thee against the green stone of the fjord, and thou ever shalt any remedy of me, for thou leavest me not. I shall also become a grey wolf, and I will take strength from thy right hand as far as to thy left arm. I will encounter thee with my spear, he said, until thy left or right eye is forced out. And thou shalt never have help from me if thou leavest me not. I will become a white red-eared cow, she said, and I will go into the pond beside the ford, in which thou art deeply in combat with a man as skillful in feats as thyself. And 100 white-eared cows behind me, and I all behind me, will rush into the fjord, and the faithfulness of men will be brought to the test that day, and thy head shall be cut off from thee. I will make my sling and cast against thee, he said, so that my right or my left leg will be broken, and thou shalt never have help from me if thou dost not leave me. Thereupon the Ragamna departed into the fairy mound of Carl in Carach, and Cu Chulainn returned to his dwelling. And this is one of the foretales of the Cattle Raid of Cooley.